Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling something that, let's be honest, can feel like a bit of a hurdle when you're branching out as a developer. But trust me, it's actually this incredibly empowering gateway. We are going to totally demystify the transition from basic browser-based coding to building your very own professional C-sharp sandbox. Let's build a playground together, shall we? Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. First, we'll go beyond the browser. Then we'll build the sandbox, look for the first signs of life, and wrap up with the play first loop. All right, part one, beyond the browser, making the leap to C#. Now, when you decide to pick up a language like C#, you're going to hit a slight paradigm shift. You know, with HTML or JavaScript, you're usually chilling in a really familiar, lightweight browser environment. C#, on the other hand, it requires a dedicated space, specifically the Visual Studio IDE. And yeah, I know, it sounds kind of heavy at first, but honestly, it's really just a super powerful new sandbox built to give you way more creative freedom. So what's an IDE? It stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's a big term, but please don't let it intimidate you. It's literally just the professional terminology for the workshop we're about to build. Something like Visual Studio Community just bundles together everything you need to write, test, and run your software. Think of it like a garage where all the tools are already perfectly hung up on the pegboard, just waiting for you. Moving right along to part two, building the sandbox, a one-time investment. Let's actually break down the literal setup process, because I want to reassure you this is a highly approachable, one-time task that pays massive dividends. And the source highlights a really cool, reassuring fact. 15. As in, you will have a fully working, professional-grade C# sandbox up and running in under 15 minutes. No joke. The documentation beautifully distills this whole process down into 4 super simple steps. It kicks off with a free download from Microsoft. By the way, Visual Studio Community is completely free for individual learners, which is awesome. Then you just pick your tools, create a basic project, and hit run. That's it. From downloading a file to seeing a live program in just 4 steps. But let's zoom in on step 2 for a second, because it's kind of a crucial configuration point to get right. See, when you install Visual Studio, it hits you with this massive menu of what they call workloads. Now, a workload is just a bundle of tools for a specific kind of development. You know, mobile games, COD servers, the whole shebang. To keep things lightweight and avoid completely cluttering up your computer, the source explicitly advises checking only the .NET desktop development workload. Literally leave absolutely everything else unchecked, unless you know for a fact you need it. This keeps your new playground clean, fast, and laser-focused on exactly what we're learning. Okay, part 3, first signs of life, proving the sandbox is live. Once that installation wraps up, we obviously want to see that first spark of life right away. And it's so easy. By simply clicking Create a New Project and selecting the Console App template, the IDE does all the heavy lifting for you. You give it a name, and Visual Studio just magically generates your primary program.cs file with starter code built right in, so you're never just staring at a blank screen. Right there in that brand new file, you're going to instantly spot this absolute classic line of code. Console.writeline, quote, hello world, end quote. It is pretty much a universal tradition in computer science, and the best part? In this IDE, you can bring it to life with zero command line fuss. You just click the big green run button right at the top of the screen, or, even faster, just smash that F5 key on your keyboard. The exact moment you press F5, this little black console window will pop up and echo those exact words back to you. Hello, world. And boom, that is your newly built C# environment officially saying hello. It's definitive proof that your compiler is working, the IDE is configured perfectly, and your sandbox is fully operational and ready for your ideas. Finally, section 4, the play first loop, the methodology of breaking things. Now, here is where we see how this setup builds into the core methodology of the whole curriculum. While your tools have definitely evolved into this powerful IDE, the learning cycle itself relies on 6 really dynamic stages. Imagine an outcome, prompt an AI to help, play the code, tweak the variables, intentionally break it, and then repeat. It's this super active way of learning that treats your code like clay rather than fragile glass. This really illustrates a brilliant, modern twist on learning to code. By using AI as your co-pilot to draft the initial code, that prompt stage we just mentioned, you completely remove the pressure of having to be a perfect syntax master on day 1. The AI hands you a working draft. Your job, drop that draft into Visual Studio, hit run, and then just start twisting the knobs. Change some numbers, swap out the text, and explore the language in a totally low-stakes environment. You aren't staring at a blank page stressing over where a semicolon goes. You're actively experimenting with a working system. And this right here is the psychological pivot of the entire explainer. You are explicitly told to break it on purpose. Visual Studio isn't just a rigid production tool. It's a playground. When you intentionally delete a bracket just to see what kind of red error message pops up, you are actively discovering the real boundaries of C#. You literally have permission to disrupt things so you can figure out how they actually work under the hood. So we've stepped beyond the browser. You've spent your 15 minutes installing the IDE and validating it with your very first Hello World. You've got your AI copilot ready to draft up your wildest ideas. The tools are all in place, the pressure is totally off, and the methodology is crystal clear. So I'm going to leave you with this. Your sandbox is ready. What will you break first? Get in there, start twisting those knobs, and most importantly, just enjoy the process of discovery. Catch you next time.